When we talk about issues like this, we talk about teamwork, and you have to bring people together. Otherwise, nothing is accomplished. And compromises are important. It's important to listen to people. It's important to find out what we need. And the most important aspect of a life in a city is the quality of education we give to our children and grandchildren. All parents here, regardless of where you live, want to do one thing. You want to help your children and give them a good quality education. If you do that with your moral values, you fulfill your life. You want to give it to your grandchildren. And like anything else, you have to do it in the entire city. And that's why I made education, I think, the most important issue facing not only our city, but our nation and the world. Those who have education do very well. Those who do not, unfortunately, live in poverty for a long, long time. And we don't want to have one generation after another generation. People are working hard, and they want to make sure their children are going to succeed. So this is all teamwork. You have Ron Huberman here from the Chicago Board of Education. You have our wonderful principal, Francie Garcia, which she told me all about her school and why it was named Gilmelka, and the history of that. And next week or so, a school from Mexico City will be arriving here, which is really important. And the whole history, and all the parents that are here, the local school council, Jose Hernandez, and all the parents are really important. And to the Public Building Commission, Aaron Lavin, Adela Cepeda, Bob Donaldson, who's worked very closely with all of us. And so Ron Holt, the Chicago CAPS program, Superintendent Weiss, Chicago Police Department. And so what we're really talking about is the future of our city and the future of all these young men and women, children right here in this community. And we want to give them the same opportunity as anyone else had in the city. And that's why I've made education the only priority here in the city. I really mean that. The greatest gift that I could give to every child is a good quality education. And then from there, they have the independence for the rest of their life. They never have to depend off of me or government or anyone else. I mean, that's what we want to do with all of our children. And so I'm really thankful for all the parents that are deeply involved, not only in this school, but many other schools. And I know when parents are involved, I know it's a good school. When parents are not involved, schools have problems. Teachers, I want to thank all the teachers and the staff. They're really doing an excellent job, as she talked about the fine evaluation they're doing. I hate the word testing, I'll be very frank. I want to talk about evaluation, evaluating children, how well they're doing, which is really important. And then to see the parents. When parents are involved in a block club, in their family, in their school, it's a nice community. When they're not involved, they want to leave it to the teacher. They want to leave it to the police. They want to give everybody else a responsibility. We bring children into the world, that's our responsibility. And those who fail, then we have to take it. I hope more of them would just call 311 and say, I can't do it. Please help me. I need help with my children. And I just want to compliment this wonderful commitment through modern schools across Chicago. This is one of the best programs that Ron will talk about it. Very, very few cities. I don't know if any city are building any schools anymore, any libraries, any police or fire stations. It's something that we have forgotten as a nation. But if we don't rebuild our schools according to technology and what we need for our children will truly be left behind from the rest of the world. And that it will not be Chicago. We will not leave these children behind. And it's important that school is a beacon of hope. That is one thing I realize. That is where we can change people's lives continually, besides the family and besides your religious beliefs. But I think the school is an important. It's built to serve over 900 students, ranging from pre-kindergarten to 8th grade, and includes science, computer, music, art classes, library, gymnasium, dining facilities. The building is designed to achieve LEED Silver certification, including a green roof covering 50% of the building. Importantly, the students here will have access to various world language options. One of the largest programs in Mandarin Chinese, including foreigner kindergarten through 4th graders who will receive instructions in Mandarin Chinese this year, which is really, really important. When you have children who know Spanish very well and learning English as well, and they get another language, I would say to them, boy, they're really fortunate because the opportunities are there. If you complete 8 to 12 years of a third language, you have 3 languages, and you talk about opportunities of scholarships, opportunities of jobs will be there. These parents get it here, and when they get it, they understand what they want to achieve for their children. and most importantly, dual language programs and third language is really important as well. I want to thank all the staff. Teachers are very important to the life of our city. They're very dedicated. They're really public servants, and they're really truly committed. From the leadership of the principal, assistant principal, the staff, local school council, the parents, and the teachers, you know you have a wonderful learning environment, not just a school, but a learning environment for our children. And of course, safety is always important, and that responsibility does not come to the Chicago Police. It comes to you as parents. You have to know where your children are. Don't call the police and ask the police, my child is not in my home after curfew. That's your problem. The police should not be going around neighborhoods asking children about curfew. It's responsibility. Parents, take responsibility for your children. Take responsibility for where they are and who they're associating with and what they're doing in life. And you know that. Everybody knows their child, what they're doing. And you can feel it, and you know it in their homes. And the most frustrating challenge that we have seen throughout is the responsibility. People don't want to take responsibility. And like anything else, you become involved in local school council, you become involved in CAPS. Gangbangers don't exist in a community unless you allow them. Drug dealers don't exist unless you allow them. And drug dealers and gangbangers don't want me, don't want all the adults. They want all the children in all the classes today. That's who they really want. It doesn't matter from a kindergarten child all the way through. It doesn't matter. They want your children. And remember that. And so I ask you again to become truly involved in a block club and a community organization. You be the eyes and ears of the community. I want to congratulate Ron Huberman, the Board of Education, for the whole culture of calm here in our schools. They identified 45 high schools that house about 1,200 students, most at risk becoming involved with violence, and they're really working each child, each school, in regards to focusing on their social, emotional problems in their home. And also we realize we have criminal families. They are. And you talk to police officers in each district, and they will tell you all about the family, the second or third generation of families that are involved in crime in the communities. And so that's another issue that the police department has to truly focus on. And it really unfortunate on the South Side recently, a young girl was killed and shot, and her father was a gangster disciple. They were not shooting at the girls, were looking for him, so they shot at the house. Remember that. The child was not the intended victim, was the father. So don't just think he endangered his children because he was involved in gangs. He had the gang slogan. He was the main man. So he endangered his child. That is his responsibility, not us as a society. It's his responsibility. And I think we should look at endangerment at all when gang leaders are putting their children in harm's way, or drug dealers. That is something very, very important in this day and age, and we see it far too often in communities. We are outraged, we are shocked, we are saddened, but someone took the responsibility of joining that gang, making sure his home is a gang headquarters or the dope house. And so what happens is crime is involved in that. And so what this is a safe haven. Your homes are safe haven, the park should be safe haven, your church should be a safe haven, and the schools are safe haven. No gangs belong in any school, in any community, or any home. It's up to you to say no to that. And I want to thank J.P. Morgan Chase for their surveillance cameras funded for priority schools and working with Ron in Operation Safe City, and to use some of the stimulus money from President Obama. I want to thank him. Always thank people when they're doing things and on behalf of our city. And President Obama and the legislation has done that, and the Board of Education continually works with the Chicago Police, works with the community, and constantly looking at making sure our children are protected all the time. But this is a time for the community, and I really thank all the community for really believing in your children and other children in the community. To me, the greatest thing that I can do, cutting ribbons, is all about schools. I mean, to me, I wish I could build all the schools right away. I've been trying, but this is 100% funded by the taxpayers of the city of Chicago. So we have to thank all the taxpayers, and many of our schools have been funded by Chicago taxpayers alone. We would not be doing this, these schools, if it wasn't for the commitment that the Chicago taxpayers have made to our city. And that really says something about Chicago. And I'm very, very proud of this principal. I'm very proud of the staff here, and especially the parents that are really committed about making sure that this school is going to be a success, and every child that graduates will be hearing and reading about them in not only local newspapers, but newspapers nationally and globally, where they came from and what they accomplished in giving back to life. That is the whole commitment of our education system. I want to thank you and really appreciate Calmecca Academy of Fine Arts and Dual Language. You will stand out in the history of Chicago because of your passion, your love for children, your commitment to improve the quality of life. Thank you very much.